I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Do we need to print out the accountability worksheets?
No, all I said was go ahead and download them so you can have access to them.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here's
Everybody, Primerica, how you doing?
Primerica, how you doing?
Incredible
You're in for a
show.
treat today.
With the dream team here,
You know, with
really
the dream
exciting
team
to kick
here,
off
and it's really exciting to kick off
2015 and
2015
understand that,
and
you're really
understand that,
one feet away from an
you're really
explosion.
one
What I
foot
have
from explosion. What I have
greatness,
share today is
duplication. I
just
think that's
greatness,
the word,
duplication. I think
longevity of
that's
an
the word,
opportunity,
longevity of an opportunity to take 40 years
and that's
of
what
work into
Victoria and I have
10.
been able to
And that's
do.
what Victoria and I have
And
been
as
able
we've
to
gotten
do.
more mature in
And
the
as we've
process,
gotten more mature
success
in the
not being a
process,
destination, but a
success
journey,
not
and
being
it
a
built a big
destination,
base
but a
shop,
journey, and it
continued
built
to
a
build
big
base
base
shop.
shop,
And
continued
from
to
that
build
came
base
some
shop.
great people,
And from that came some
Eric
great
Davis,
people,
Tanya
Eric
Poe, and Mario
Davis,
Munoz,
Tanya
three of
Poe,
the
and
best
Mario Munoz,
base shops
three of the
in the
best
state of
base
California as a
shops in the
company
state of
in
California as a
2014.
company in
All have
2014.
incredible RVPs now
All have
promoted,
incredible
and
RVPs
duplicated
now
themselves
promoted,
as well, high
duplicating
standards,
themselves as well,
just
high
incredible
standards,
stories that we want to
just
share. And I'll
incredible
tell you
stories that
something,
we want to share. And I'll
it's
tell
been
you
an
something,
amazing journey of the
it's been
company,
an
this whole
amazing
home
journey of the
office,
company, this
just
whole home
everything that's
office,
going on right
just
now.
everything that's going on right now. It's
Amazing,
just been so
world class
amazing.
here,
It's just
just
world class
make
in
you
here,
understand that,
just to make you
you're with the right
understand that,
place, you're with the right
you're with
company,
the
you're
right
with the right
place, you're with
team.
the right
Just,
company, you're with the right
understand that,
team, and just,
high
understand that,
expectations of work. And I
high
think that's
expectations
really
of
the most
work. And
important
I
thing
think
here. I
that's
want
really
to
the most
talk
important thing
and
here.
have
I
like
wanted
panels,
to talk and
great
have like
examples
panels,
here at the table with
great
me, and
examples
just want
here
to
at
talk
the
to
table
Eric
with me.
Davis,
I just
talking
want to
about
talk to
building,
Eric Davis,
your
talking
strength
about
of building
building,
it right. Eric
your
Davis
strength
through
of building it
Primerica
right.
called
Eric
60
Davis from
months,
Primerica
made
called
over
60 months. He's made over
$800,000 since he joined
$800,000
Primerica.
since he joined
Probation,
Primerica.
a parole
Probation,
probation career of 13
parole and
years,
probation
very
career
ambitious
of
with other
13
things that he
years,
tried
very
on the
ambitious
side.
and other things
Got
that
his
he tried on the
master's
side.
degree at
Got his
23,
master's degree
literally
at
came to
23,
Primerica
literally
in my
came to
base shop, my
Primerica
second
in my
$100,000
base
base
shop,
shop.
my second
His
$100,000 base
first
shop.
year, Amber and
His
Eric Davis,
first year, Amber and Eric
they
Davis,
made
they
$40,000 and
they
saved
made
every dime.
$40,000
And then
saved
quit
every
his
dime.
job and went
And then
full
quit
time
his
with
job
RVP
and
in
went
18
full
months.
time with RVP in
100
18
grand
months.
immediately in his first 18 months. Got his
Immediately
own
in his
office
first 18 months. Got his own office
Carson,
in
California, now over
Carson, California, now
$300,000
over
income. They own their own
$300,000 in
business.
income, and they own their own business.
Very exciting standard. One of the things I want you
Very
guys to
exciting
understand
standard.
about why
One thing I want you guys to understand
are
about
so
why
important behind why you want to
are
come
so
out of a
important
big
behind
shop.
why you want to
In
come out
that
of a big
13-year
shop.
career that
In that
Eric
13-year
had,
career that
being
Eric
a parole and
had,
probation,
and being a
he might have had about
probation,
$50,000
he might have had
saved
about
with the first
$50,000 saved
when he
with the
now
first
today has
when
way
he
more
now today
Primerica
has
stock
way more
than he
Primerica
did
stock
even in that
than
13
he did
years. He's only
even in
been
that
60
13
months, so
years. He's only
being
been there
RVP
60
for about
months,
two
so
and a half
being
years,
RVP for
wow.
about two and a half years.
way more than he
He's
ever had in
way more than he ever
retirement
had
at
in
his job.
retirement
So
at
when we
his
talk
job.
about your one
So when
decision
we
away
talk
from
about
3
your
years
one
from wealth,
decision away from 3 years
that's
from
why it's so
wealth,
important to come out of a
that's
big
why
base
it's so
shop.
important to come
The
out of a big
nourishment, the
base shop.
growing, and
The
so I couldn't think
nourishment,
of
the
a better
growing,
person to
and
lead
so I
it
couldn't
off
think of a
than
better
an
person to
incredible
lead it
track
off
record in
than an
Eric
incredible
Davis.
track record in
Thank
Eric
you, Neil.
Davis. Thank you, Neil.
First of all, we wouldn't be here if I didn't have one wonderful partner, Amber. I love her to death. She's not here right now, but she's one of the main reasons we're here. We're successful. My team, the Trendsetters, also Usual Suspects. You want to be a great leader without a great team. But to build a great business, you have to form a track record that becomes a track record. So what happens is you come into the business, great examples like yourself, like Tanya, like Mario, you come in, you duplicate what they have done. Nobody's going to follow you unless you lead first. You got to be the most excited. You got to be the hardest worker. Success becomes attractive to others. And you start attracting other people that have track records before they come into Primerica. So you start attracting better people. And what happens is you start attracting like a nigga Solomon who's over 100 grand. She's a hairstylist, came in the business. She's killing me now, and her team's doing between 20 and 30 grand. But I would have never attracted her if she didn't see it work with us first. You don't have to have a big team at the beginning, but what happens is you start doing it first. You start being the most excited. You feel like you're going places, doing things in the company that others aren't doing, and duplicating great success with the dream team. People want to be a part of it. People want to be a part of the winning system. And when you come from a winning system to a big base shop, you can duplicate that. And what happens is you start attracting more people. People that want to be like you at district and at the vision and that regional leader where you're the top of the company in every category. You don't go RPT and all of a sudden you become number one in each category. You start at the beginning. So it comes with high standards. And that started by doing it personal first. And we have a great track record of success. You always go back and say what you have done at these different levels. So you can't lead somebody unless you have done. You can tell people what to do all day long, but nobody really wants to be managed. They want to be led. They want to know you did it. If you're talking about something that you have not done, they're not going to want to do it. So when you start doing it first, everybody has their own track record of how long it takes. It just happens to happen really fast for us. But it might take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get it. But once you get it, you got to lead by example. example, not by what you say.
Say though, that came from just you coming and seeing all the environment, seeing the Haven, seeing all the winning examples in the base shops, seeing the high standards, and just
Exactly. I heard early on that all the big base shops. I want to build a big base shop. I've seen your income go from 700 to 1.4 million in 4 or 5 years. Trying to emulate that, but it comes from a kind of great environment and doing stuff personal first, and always having a great attitude no matter what's going on, no matter what distractions are in your life. You still got to feel like you're going somewhere. Nobody wants to be left behind, so think like you're going somewhere. The winners want to go with you, and then follow your lead. And as long as you're the hardest worker, the toughest person on your team, it doesn't matter where you're at right now, it's where you're going. When Tanya came into my house, it wasn't about where she was right then, but I just felt like she was going somewhere, and I didn't want to get left behind. Just show me how to make an extra $1,500, $2,500 a month, and I'm in. That's what came to start part-time. First year, like you said, we make 40 grand part-time. What other business can do that? So when we make 40 grand part-time, I watch Mario Williams make 30-something grand in a month. Mike Neal, you got to show me how to do that. And then, a year later, we're making 20 grand a month. So now people want to do that. So we're attracting people that are already making money prior to Primerica. They want to replace that income. So we're attracting people that are making 100 grand. They want to replace that income. And when I came in, when I went full-time, I said, Neil, 100 grand is stupid. You live in Southern California. I'll still be living in Compton. That's not good. But if I go full-time, you need something I make $40 million for me. And now the people that I'm attracting, that's what they want for their lives to live.
I appreciate it, Eric. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. So excited, Mario, and turn that over to Mario.
That he's been able to do, one incredible track record, and now high standards, and now how's your feeling through that? I mean, how do you feel about that?
How do you feel about the things you've done? You had a great 2014, you got a raise of $100,000,
great RVP,
great RVPs,
just moved into your awesome, beautiful home. We're able to spend a lot of time with you guys. Just so proud of what they started off. So proud of him. So proud of him. Being part of the Develop first one, 111,000 base shop in 36 months. Watch you drive from Bahadra to Granada Hills, make 100 grand a leader in 18 months. Take the RVP contract,
take the RVP contract, rolling 12 and
450,000.
You went over 450,000.
How you feel, buddy? I feel great. Thank you, Neil. And first of all, I just want to send a shout out to my sweetheart, my wife, Viviana. Hey, how are you? Eric and I were talking this morning, like our coffee.
And obviously a shout out to the Game organization out there. Hey guys, we're going to build a 100 grand RVPs, but
in regards to high standards and
duplicate ourselves with leaders is extremely important.
Because first of all, one of the things that we all have in common
is that we all believe
but obviously it all,
in other words,
before I was, they had that high standards, so we bought into that. And that's why, Eric hanging out, we make close to $500,000, still make $1.4 million. It's a win-win all the way around. Because of high standards, when you have high standards, in that vision, if it's small,
how big are our goals and dreams?
An environment of high standards, you create an environment where everybody could win. The expectations are higher. The expectations are higher.
The synergy is higher. If someone is not with it because it's a voluntary army, it doesn't matter. You have high standards. The winners are going to do it. And by the way, everybody wins when you have high standards. There's people are making money. The RVP makes money. The downlines make money. Everybody's excited. The promotions are healthy. We're not going by minimum standards, because you're going to get paid minimum wage. One of the things that Hector says all the time is how you do anything, you do everything. So if you have high standards, guess what? The right people are going to buy into that. That's extremely important. And then obviously, of duplicating leaders, let me tell you something. Of course, it's important to recruit. Of course, it's important to code people. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's important that we recruit, code, and that we have productive leaders. In other words, that they move, that they do something. Because you can't override a code that doesn't do anything. So, but when you have an environment, a synergy where the expectations are high. When I was a district, we did 18,000. We were division, we did 42,000. When we were regionals, we did over 100,000. Went out number one in the world. So, like Eric said earlier, is that when you do it first, you're gonna attract animals. Tanya would say, you'll attract beasts. You're gonna attract champions because you do it first. So you won't be able to point at someone else and say, well, that person on stage said it. No, it's because we said it. We've done it. Not because we read a book, although that's important, but because we have the track record. Come after us. Beat our records. And guess what? If you do what we do, you're gonna have what we have. And the last part I'll leave you with this is kind of like Jim Rohn says all the time is, if you shoot for the stars, you'll hit the moon. But if you shoot for the moon, you're gonna hit a rock. So how high are your standards? Don't commune to people that, well, I heard in this office over there, they farted and they went RVP. Okay, that doesn't work with, high standards and making big money and becoming a multi-million-dollar earner, okay? So let's go kick some butt, guys. Thank you, Neil.
That's just a title. That's just a title with no paragraph, right? Everybody wants to eat a steak, but you need teeth. You know what I'm saying, right? You're not going to play the harmonica of chapped lips. So I'm just excited. And hey, I'll tell you, last but not least, what can I say about Tanya Poe? I've seen so many amazing things in her journey. How many years now, Tanya, in the business? And almost 7 years and paid over $1 million. This is a real business. It pays real money with a real commitment. And I couldn't think of a better person than Tanya Poe. And one of the multiple dynamics that she has, but one that I'm really impressed with, is not how she's starting to build partnership. Being a single individual has an enormous amount of resources and an extremely enormous amount of charisma, and now is doing that. So how do you feel about that?
You know what? First of all, I want to just say thank you. I want to thank you because without you, I would not be here. And I'm so grateful to you and Victoria and what you've built and what you've done. And, I look at these guys right here as my brothers in business, and we compete every single month. And we do it with a smile out of love because, we're our competition. That's just what it is. And we know we're beasts. And that's all because of you and Victoria. And, and I would not be here, nor would the company even want to hear what I have to say if it wasn't for my team, the breadwinners back at home, my hierarchy, my awesome RVP Keisha and her team BAM. I'm just starting this thing. I'm really just getting started. Like you always said, this is the beginning. You get that contract, you're supposed to go run with it and make it happen. And now I'm producing RVPs, and this is all we talk about. And I have some up and comers that are great as well. And I had to learn that this is a partnership business when you first come in, and sometimes it's a little intimidating. I would sit in a meeting and I would say, wow, how can I go against them? It's two of them. It's two of them with a license, and it's just me. But I realized only one sometimes do the work anyway. And I said, so I just got to be better than everybody else. I just have to work harder than the two. I said, if I'm going to outwork both of them, that's just period, bottom line. And that's just, what I grew up with. And because of that, that's all I talk about. It doesn't matter, if you have a partner or not. Just go get it done. If you know you don't have a partner and you can't rely on somebody to do the other work, then you just go do it yourself. And right. And so what this turned into is I have a team full of powerful couples, powerful women, men. I have it all. And I just let everybody know, you paint your ticket here. You do what you want to do. And, I have an awesome couple of Tris and Chris who are going to go RVP next in my organization. And, first it was Tristan by herself and it was Chris by himself. And, they met in Primerica. They've come together and together they're dynamic. Each one of them do 10 grand personal by themselves.
They're over 70,000.
That's right. They're going to get a ring in my base. Mm-hmm. And they got their watch already. And it's like Keisha got her watch when she was in my base and she's about to get a ring. Keisha closed 5,000 in premium yesterday. You know why? Because what you told me, you want your ring, you go get it. She's been close to it for months now. I said, put it to bed. And they're coachable.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that you made $100,000 in my base shop, right. And now they're going to do that in your base shop.
You know why, Neil? Because one thing is this. Everybody's so hung up on these titles. You get an RVP contract, but then you still broke. See, if you coming from a big base shop. A big base shop kills everything. Big base shop takes care of everything. Because when you're in a big base shop, you gonna make money. You're in a big base shop, just guess what? You're making more money.
If you're in a big base shop, you make money. If you make more money than somebody else. Everybody worried about a title, but how much money? It's funny. People are calling them. It's funny. People are calling. And I know Keisha got it. I used to get it. And Tristan Chris is getting it right now. When you go on RVP, they don't call and say when you're gonna make $100,000 though.
So fun. It's been all some money. But you know what's funny is that
before Tanya would hear that, and Eric got in so fast, they didn't know who he was yet. Victoria and I used to hear that. Just wait to give up replacement. Just wait, Mr. Personal Track Producer Record, Mr. Right? Just wait. Well, I'm waiting. I'm at 1.4 million.
Well, I'm waiting on my 1.4 million. So you duplicate what you want. Right? Greatness comes, right? You know,
right. You don't cut corners. You know,
don't cut corners. And at the end of the day, it's all about making an income and someone else how to do it. I tell my students, it don't matter whether you couple, single. If you go do the work, you become a great student first. Put your ego aside. Doesn't matter if you were a nurse when you came here, a doctor when you came. Doesn't matter. You don't know how to do things. So you put your ego aside. You get in there. You fight for the team. You fight for the numbers. You fight for the team where it needs to be. You fight. All we do is fight. You a district, you the best district in the world. Then the best district in your hierarchy. The best district in your state. Best in the country. If you're a division, same thing. Really the same thing. You know, I like when the breadwinners are number one, but I don't like when it's just my face. I'm fighting for the problem, so I can be number one and no regional leader, no division, or no district. I don't like that. I need to be where I'm number one and my face is there, my regional leader space is there, my division space is there, because we a team. And I tell everybody we gotta work hard. It doesn't matter what color you are, how big or small you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, nothing matters but your work ethic. And hard work is sexy. And that's what everybody should understand. And that's what everybody should understand.
Yeah. And so, and you know, you look at hard work. You know, you look at hard work and you look at dedication. You know, there's a time when I was in the field. You know, many times. You know, I gained weight. You know, I gained weight. On how heavy you get,
success on how heavy you get, and how many miles are on your car.
You know, so I might have been a little heavy, but I'll still prefer less of my attitude. You know, and I think that's where it kind of starts right there. Because if this is right, if this ain't right, this don't matter.
But if this ain't right, this don't matter.
And that's what we're really talking here. That's what we're really talking here. And myself is creating. You know, the people can't wait to get back. You know, the people can't wait to get back to where they believe in themselves. I think that's one duplication and an indomitable spirit that I've ingrained in. You know, these three awesome dynamic individuals that are winning American business. It's just an honor to say that I, planted our flag, Victoria and I, and we did something special with Primerica, and it's blessed us. Every fiber that we have in our life is 110% Primerica. You know, it's coming on our 20th year, and it seems like yesterday. You know, Victoria got licensed first in 1995. Victoria Rodriguez, that was our recognition in the beginning. I kind of just tricked her, said you're smart, you get the license, and then it kind of pays, and I finally got it. I got it. Everything is a win. Every 90 days your goals change. But if you're coachable, like listen to what Tanya's saying, right? This is where like they have two against one. The truth is, when you're coachable, you can beat everybody. And I think that's the key right there. And I think all days rolling to one, and you're just talking about lighting yourself on fire. So we're excited. You know what I mean? We're really excited about doing some great things. You know, I'm so proud of our team. I just wanted to go back and just get more questions from them to answer you guys, because I'm very excited about what I've accomplished. Watching Tanya go over 300,000. I was more excited than when we went over 300,000. Watching Eric Davis over 300,000 income. I was more excited than when Troy and I did. And watching Mara Munoz do the same. So, guys, we're pumped up in a big way. We're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. You know, so we're excited. You know, it's big stuff. You know, awesome.
Big stuff. You know, awesome.
All right, King Crusaders. Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What an awesome video that was with Neil Gerfine and his hierarchy. I want to thank everybody for being on, mainly on time tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're focusing on the presentation, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the keys that we heard in the video just now. And basically, coming from a weekend with Tanya Poe, it's almost like, you know, we're stepping into a new era in our business. I'm very excited at what's going on. First of all, I want to congratulate Yvette for getting her district leader promotion this weekend, going across the stage of the Freedom Conference. Again, the Freedom Conference is every 90 days. And in each 90 days, we're actually, again, in competition with the other teams. So a lot of great competition, a lot of fun. a lot of excitement when we get together, especially, just meeting, different people. And the speakers that they bring in are phenomenal. I'm not sure who's coming in the next Freedom Conference, but they're usually phenomenal speakers. But Tanya Poe pretty much put us on a new track. Okay, I wouldn't say totally new because we're already headed in that direction, but I think it was the call between her and then following up with this video is we all have to step up our game. Okay, we must step up our game. We must now employ high standards if we are going to achieve and accomplish everything that we've put out there. Basically, Crusaders, I don't think you all understand how good you actually have it as far as our resources, everything that we have in place. It's all there. It's all, perfectly outlined and laid out, but it means nothing if we don't plug into our resources and put them to work. Okay. In the chat section, I uploaded a couple of accountability worksheets. Okay. The KTA tracker, the monthly goals, and the monthly focus. All right. I need everybody to go ahead and download these trackers onto your computer right now. Okay. If you're serious about really working the business and jumping aboard what we're going to be doing, you're going to actually need these trackers. You're going to need these accountability trackers. You're going to need to be 100% plugged in. Okay. Now we're adding back. We're continuing to be in our group training on Saturday mornings, and we're going to add back a live in-person training throughout the week, focusing on drill for skill. It'll be a lot of hands-on drill for skill, role playing, accountability to really help you all to become confident and competent across the kitchen table. Okay, we want to make sure that we're actually, having our appointments, we have the system, everything is there in place, but we want to make sure that you are competent with every aspect of the business. This is a cookie cutter business. All you got to do, plug in, commit, okay, to the system, believe in the system, cheerlead the system, okay, work the system, and you will be successful. I'm so blown away at Tanya Poe in the business, just 7 years, already paid over $1 million.
Well, she can just respond right now. As soon as
Okay, already paid over $1 million in just 7 years. Well, how did she do that? Again, she plugged into the system. She was a cheerleader of the system. She was coachable. Okay, and she made things happen. One thing that Tanya Poe made clear, okay, over the weekend, she said it like 1 million times. It is not your contract that pays you. It's your work ethic. Okay, it's not your contract, it's your work ethic. Okay, so if you're not getting paid what you would like to get paid or what you expect to be paid, then we have to check your what? Your work ethic. That's right. So that's why we'll have these KTA trackers, your monthly focus, your monthly goals. Therefore, it will be predictable. Okay, to make sure that you're hitting your goals on a weekly basis. Again, we came here, and I'm like Tanya, I come here not to make friends, I come to make money. Okay, and this is nothing new. Okay, listen, you have to learn the business, you have to make money first. Okay, you have to understand the business so that you can teach somebody else. Okay, so your mindset, everybody's mindset, if you're really looking to be a builder, if you're really looking to be successful, your mindset should be, I need to have enough people that I can teach the business. Okay, that should be your focus. That's why they say shoot for the recruit. All right, when you have your kitchen table appointment trackers, right, most of your kitchen table appointments should be with a new recruit. Okay, the main thing is recruiting. Allow the recruit to take you into their warm market so that you can build your business, so that you can teach them the business, ultimately so you can eat, so you can make sales, so that you can make money. Okay, I got many of you out here prospecting for life insurance. All right, that's all fine, but we're looking to want a salesman. You got to think about it. Do you want to be a builder or a salesperson? Okay, a salesperson wakes up unemployed every day, meaning after that sale, you got to go out and get another one. All right, then get another one, then get another one. Okay, a builder builds a mountain of security, builds longevity. A builder, if they have enough people around, will never run out of appointments. Okay, if you are under the sound of my voice and you want to be a builder, your mindset should be, I need to have between 8 to 10 people that I'm potentially field training at all times. Okay, if we're going to turn this business around, if we're going to turn our activity around, we have to turn our focus around. Okay, if we're going to be at the top of the leaders bulletin, again, I hope you all heard that. And I know you heard it if you were there this weekend. And I'll tell you, if anybody is ever serious about the business, never miss a big event. All right, if you missed the big event, if you missed Tanya Pope, man, that was a huge, huge mistake. All right, you want to never miss a meeting, and especially never miss big events. Okay, so we got to get all aboard, all with the same mindset, all with the same focus. Okay, all with the same mindset of being accountable, right? Being coachable, being accountable, putting the work out there in order to bring in results. Because honestly, if you're just here, you're kind of playing around with this thing, sprinkling a little bit here, sprinkling a little bit there, okay, you're really killing your career. You're killing yourself in business. You're going to burn out. Okay, it's much more fun doing this business when you have a lot of activity going on. Okay, so we're going to work with the ones who are coachable. We're going to work with the ones who really show effort and, put it out there, put names out there, put appointments out there, put phone calls out there. That's what it's all about. Okay, it's about really getting down, really getting dirty with activity. Okay, this is a business of activity. Hopefully, y'all are taking notes. All right, this is a business of activity. So, what I'm going to do tonight, I want to focus on right now. We're going to switch and go to the presentation. Okay, because we want to make sure that you all are well versed on the presentation, okay, which you should already have printed out. You should already have in a binder, okay. We do have the introductory sheets to the presentation, which I will not go over. Let me see. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to start straight into the presentation itself. There would be a couple of different ways to go into it. Again, if we're focusing on recruits, okay, most of the presentation will be with a field trainee in front of you. Okay, and again, it's the field trainee who introduces the trainer. Okay, starts off a small chat, okay? And then you would introduce the appointment as a training appointment. You focus on referrals, the client expansion. You will let the client know why you got involved, and you would then transfer to the actual presentation. All of that is on the intro. And we got somebody that has let me try to find that. Okay, I found that noise there. Okay, so now we're gonna start. So you already did the intro, and we're on the first page. Okay, and I'm gonna actually expand the screen. There we go. Well, the name of the company that we represent is Primerica. Primerica is the largest independent financial services marketing organization in North America, founded in 1977. We're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Our stock symbol is PRI. Okay, we got somebody else with a phone ringing somewhere. Let me try to find that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now this is a before and after of a family that we helped. John and Mary, 30 years old. They have 2 kids. Basically, we sat down with them. They did not have a financial needs analysis, so we did an analysis, and we shows before the analysis and then after the analysis. So if you look at their debt, they had $165,000 on the first mortgage, okay, with 24 years left remaining, and $13,000 on 3 credit cards that they pay off in 58 years. Okay, what we did for them there was that we enrolled them in a fast pay plan in our debt watches, paid off their mortgage and all their credit cards in 20 years. Okay, so overall, we saved them over $56,000 in interest and over 4 years of mortgage payments with no extra payment. Okay, would you agree that we helped them out tremendously in the area of debt? Okay, now with the life insurance, they had $150,000 on each of them. All right, they had a cash value policy by paying entirely too much. As you see here, $218 a month. Okay, the cash value at age 65 would have grown only to about $52,000. Okay, so look at what we did. We actually were able to analyze their needs. We found that John actually needed $500,000. Mary needed $350,000. All right, so got him a 30-year level term life policy for $108. Okay, so we're still spending the $218. So now $108 is for the life insurance. So we're saving $110 a month that we have to invest. Okay, and we'll show you towards the end what the savings look like as opposed to what it looked like for them in this other policy. Now, as far as the legal protection, before us, they had no will and no access to a respected full-service law firm. But with us, we set them up with a will through our Primerica Legal Protection Program, okay, and got them access to a full-service law firm for just $25 a month. Okay, with the auto and homeowners insurance, they were paying $243 a month for auto and homeowners insurance. Of course, they weren't; these clients weren't in Florida because that's like good for Florida. But anyway, what we did with them, we saved them $65 a month on their auto and homeowners insurance. Okay, and if we use that $65 a month and invested it for 20 years at 9%, that would be an extra of $43,000 for a college fund. Okay, for one of their kids. How about that? We helped them tremendously in that area. Would you agree? Okay, great. Well, now let's look at retirement. All right, they had $20,000 in an individual retirement account, in an IRA, all right, at their bank. Now they're only earning 1.5%, okay, which is very low. And then they can only put in $100 a month because they're paying, high insurance rates, and they had a lot of debt, and pretty much they would only accumulate $89,000 by age 65. All right. So what kind of retirement would they have? Okay. So what we did, we rolled over the $20,000 into mutual funds, educated them about how money works, which I'll show you some things in a minute. Okay. We were able to increase their contributions, okay, to 210, meaning they're already investing $100. Okay, so now we saved them $110 on their life insurance. So that's how we got the $210. Now, if all they got was a 6% rate of return, their money would grow to over $400,000 by age 65. What if they got 9%? And that's still conservative. Over $1 million by age 65. Now, would you agree that we helped them out tremendously, overall? Okay, because before us, they just have about 89,000 plus the 52,000 in cash value, as opposed to, over $1 million. Okay, now let me share with you our mission. Okay, see, we're here to help families earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. And what we do, we teach people how money works so they can make informed decisions about how to take control of their finances. And we offer a variety of products and services designed to help people achieve their financial goals. Now, if you look here, our strategic partners, okay, so it shows all of our partners as well as the products that we offer. Again, the life insurance through Primerica Life. We have managed accounts through Lockwood Advisors. Okay, annuities, MetLife, AIG, AXA, Lincoln Financial. We also do 401k plans through Voya. Mutual funds for, all kinds of goals, college education, retirement, money market accounts. These are some of the mutual fund companies that we represent. Okay, we do our legal protection through Primerica Legal Protection Program, long-term care, John Hancock and Genworth Financial, auto and homeowners insurance. We do a referral program through Answer Financial, our debt solutions through Freedom Financial, and debt watches through Equifax. Now, we will be starting health insurance later this year when open enrollment comes out. So, these are all of our products, all of our partners, and we have more than $48 billion in assets under management and greater than 2 million client investment accounts, approximately $682 billion of life insurance in force, and over 4 million lives insured through our life insurance companies. That's a lot of business. Would you agree? Excellent. Okay, let me share some financial concepts with you. Now, these are, before I go specifically into the concept, let's talk a little bit about today's financial challenges. Okay. The average household with at least, okay, I have someone that I need you to mute your phone. If you're moving around, I need you to mute your phone. You're disturbing the whole line. Okay, and this is very important. We're trying to get this done. All right. While I have been interrupted, however, does anyone have any questions or comments on anything so far that I've gone over? I've gone over the first 3 slides.
Yes, is this presentation at our site?
Yes, it is. It's the same presentation that we've been doing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Donald McRae, are you there? I can't. Donald, can you unmute, please? Okay, Donald, as soon as you unmute, just chime in. I got a question for you. Okay, so we went over this sheet here. Now we're going to go into today's financial challenges. The average American household with at least one credit card has nearly $16,000 in credit card debt. Okay, 95 million U.S. adults have no life insurance at all. Okay, more than 2/3 in the U.S. Live paycheck to paycheck, and more than half of all workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. How about those statistics, right? The good news is Primerica provides a financial education to solve these challenges, okay? So we're going to share with you, first of all, how money works, okay? Have you ever heard of the Rule of 72? Okay, well, the Rule of 72 tells you how many years it may take to double your money, okay? Now, if you look at it here, if you got 3%, 6%, or 12%, for instance, 72 divided by that rate of return, and let's look at 3%, tells you that it would take 24 years for your money to double. At 6%, it takes 12 years. At 12%, it takes 6 years for your money to double. Now, my question for you, Mr. and Mrs. Client, how many doubling periods do you have in your life? Okay, and then you will wait for an answer, and that should spark like a short conversation. Okay, now let's talk about then the power of compound interest. Now, for example, here, this is showing $200 a month, okay, saving for 35 years. Okay, if you got 3% on your money, in this case, it would grow to 148,000, a little over 148,000. Look at 12%, over $1.2 million. Okay, Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Okay, so we teach families how to use this to their advantage. Okay, Donald, are you unmuted now? Okay, you just. Okay. Donald, are you unmuted? Okay, Yvette, are you unmuted?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, can you see this slide here?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, I want you to give me a crack at this slide here. How would you present this slide?
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, here's where I want to share with you some very key financial concepts that can change your lives and the lives of many other people that you may know. So keep an open mind about this, because most people, they don't learn this even with master's degrees. The average American household with at least one credit card has nearly $16,000 in credit card debt. 95 million U.S. adults have no life insurance. This is very staggering, wouldn't you agree? Being with all the crime that is happening throughout the universe. Right. Well, guess what? More than 2/3 in the U.S. live paycheck to paycheck. Now, I don't know if you can identify with that, but you may know other people that identifies themselves with living paycheck to paycheck. More than half of workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. What would that lead a person to do? Wouldn't you say? That's why we see a lot of people bagging groceries at Publix or greeting people out at Walmart, right? Right. Okay. Well, now, here's where the rubber meets the road, Mr. and Mrs. Client. Primerica provides financial education to solve all of these challenges. And I'm just going to share this with you, how money works. Have you ever heard about the Rule of 72? I stop and I wait for them to answer. Well, the rule of 72 gives you the approximate number of years it may take your money to double based on the interest that you're earning. Well, typically, people save their money where? In the bank, under their mattress, in a jar, in a cabinet, right? Well, for the most part, they won't be earning anything. And if it's in a bank, I guarantee you it's going to be less than 3%. However, earning 3% and you divide that by the number 72, it would take your money 24 years to double. Okay? At 6%, 12 years to double. And at 12%, 6 years to double. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. and Mrs. Client. How many doubling periods do you have in your life? And I let them answer. You want me to continue?
Yeah, keep going. I was answering you.
Okay. All right. Well, now let's give a hypothetical example of how the rule of 72 really works, okay, by the power of compound interest. We're going to use a hypothetical savings amount of $200 a month, okay, for 35 years, okay? If you had $200 a month contributing to a savings for 35 years consistently, earning just 3%, your money will double to only $148,000, okay? At 6%, that same $200 is going to grow to $286,000. I apologize. At 12%, over $1.2 million. Now, do you think, Mr. and Mrs. Client, that your friends, your family, and everyone you know needs to know this, especially if you know they're only saving money in the bank?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you know, a very famous person by the name of Albert Einstein, he made a very interesting and staggering quote. And this is what he said: compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Now, after understanding and gaining this knowledge, wouldn't you say that's true?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Now, are you glad that I came over to see you tonight?
That's right. Hey, change our future. Awesome, Yvette. Thank you very much. It shows that you've been putting some work in it. Donald, are you cleared with your audio?
Yes.
All right, cool. Go ahead from the top of this slide.
These are today's financial challenges. The average American household with at least one credit card has nearly $16,000 in credit card debt. 95 million U.S. adults have no life insurance. More than 2/3 of U.S. live paycheck to paycheck. I know we know a lot of people that can relate to that, right?
Right.
Now, more than half of workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you see these as problems?
Yeah, big time.
Awesome. Well, Primerica, we provide financial education to solve these problems. Okay. One of the first things that we do is we teach families how money works. Okay. The first thing we do is we want to teach them the rule of 72. The rule of 72 it basically is approximates the number of years it may take to double your money. Okay. So if you have your money invested, it doesn't matter in a CD, savings account, checking account, any kind of investment. If your money is growing at 3%, you divide that 3% into 72, and your money will double every 24 years. If it's in an investment at 6%, you divide that into 72, it'll double every 12 years. And at 12%, it'll double every 6 years. So let me ask you this question. How many doubling periods do you have in your lifetime?
Not that many.
Okay, so you understand that, so the rule of 72 is very important to you. Do you agree?
Yes, I do, of course.
Very good. So now that you understand the rule of 72, you can take full advantage of what we call the power of compound interest. So let's just say that, what is your current age?
I am 40.
Okay, guess what? Today is your lucky day. So for today, we're going to make you 30.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I'll take that.
So today, you're age 30. You're going to invest in a retirement plan on your job for the next 35 years, to age 65. You're going to be contributing $200 a month.
Okay.
Right? So if that $200 a month invested at 3% over the next 35 years, it would grow to $148,000.
Okay.
At 6%, it would grow to $286,000. And that same $200 a month growing at 12%, it would grow to almost $1.3 million. Okay? The same $200 is just in a different investment vehicle. Which one would you prefer?
Sorry, say again?
Which one would you prefer?
12%.
Great. So the great thing about Primerica is we teach people how they can get that 12%. So that's what's so unique about our company.
Okay.
You want me to keep going?
No, okay. Okay, so that was your ending of that slide.
Yes.
All right, awesome. All right, Jermaine, you ready to take a crack at this? I like how both, Yvette as well as Donald, they had their own style, their own flavor to it, and they got the point across. Very effective. And this is what we want. We want the same confidence and competence to come across in everybody's presentation. Jermaine, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, so these are some of today's financial challenges. As you can see here, the average American household with at least one credit card has nearly $15,000 in credit card debt. 95 million U.S. adults have no life insurance. More than 2/3 in the U.S. live paycheck to paycheck, and more than half of workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. Now, Primerica provides financial education to solve these challenges. Now, this is how money works. Have you ever heard of the Rule of 72?
I don't remember how it goes, though.
Okay, well, this is what the Rule of 72 states. It's basically the amount of interest that you're investing into any particular mutual fund or anything like that. It says you divide that number by 72, and whatever that number comes out to, that's how many years it would take for your money to double. Okay. So if you look, you see you invested your money at 3% interest. 72 divided by 23, 72 divided by 3, means that it would take you 24 years to double your money. So if you had $1,000, it would take you 24 years just for it to reach 2,000.
Oh my goodness.
Same here. Exactly, I know. So if you had invested your money at 6% interest, 72 divided by 6, your money would double in 12 years. So it's getting a little bit better, but that's not where we want to be. Now, if you invest your money at 12%, 72 divided by 12 gives you 6 years. Your money would double at a rate of every 6 years. So now the question you have to ask yourself is, how many doubling periods do I have in my life?
Wow. Wow, that's something to think about there.
It's definitely something to think about. It's something that you really want to consider. So when you think about the Rule of 72 and how money works, let's flip it a little bit and show you about the power of compound interest. So let's say you had $200 monthly savings for 35 years. If you invested that money at 3% interest, after 35 years, you would have $148,684. Now, if you upped it a little bit and you had invested that same $200 monthly at 6% interest, you would have $286,000.
Wow.
Now, if we invest that same amount of money, $200 monthly at 12% interest, you would have almost $1.3 million.
Well, now that's the plan I need right there.
Exactly. That's the plan you definitely need. So, compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. This was quoted by Albert Einstein.
All right. Awesome job, Jermaine. So let's give it up for our three presenters, Donald, Yvette, and Jermaine. I'm going to take it on to the next slide here. Okay, so, our philosophy, Mr. and Mrs. Client, is the theory of decreasing responsibilities. This teaches how life works. Okay, this is talking about your life insurance and income protection. What it says is this: in early years, you may need a lot of coverage because you have responsibilities such as kids, debt, mortgage. Loss of income would be financially devastating with the family because you don't have the money. And I always say you can't afford to die. Okay, but this is where you get the high amount of coverage that you need. And as time goes by, though, your responsibilities decrease as your savings and investments increase, so that later on in life, okay, you better have the money. Why? Because you're retired. But the good thing is your kids are grown, debt lowered, mortgage paid. You need a retirement income. Okay. At this time, you may not need life insurance. So what we're doing, we're teaching you how to eliminate the need for life insurance in retirement by becoming debt-free and financially independent. Does that make sense? Excellent. See, most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. And the problem goes even further, whereas traditional financial institutions are just selling products, they're not providing a complete financial game plan. And what we do, our solution is a financial needs analysis, so I'll refer to it as the F&A, all right? It's complimentary, it's confidential, all right, and it's customized, all right? It's a program that helps you achieve your goals and dreams. The F&A, it provides solutions in the areas of savings, okay, debt elimination, income protection, and income management. Let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate your desire to become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent? All right, excellent. Let me move right along here. Now, one of the greatest business opportunities in the world. Now, I've just shown you everything that we do for our families, but many times we find that people simply don't make enough money. Okay, even if we do the plan, they don't make enough money to afford everything in their plan, to afford all the savings, and to afford accelerating their debt. They need extra income. Okay, so we don't send you out to go find another job. We're the only one of the only companies, or if not the only company, that would actually hire and train you to work with us and make additional income. All right. That's why we call our opportunity one of the greatest opportunities in North America. Look at working with us part-time. Okay, we call it the part-time answer. See, at Primerica, you can keep your full-time job while starting your business part-time. Now, maybe you're looking just for extra income or just want to see if Primerica is the right opportunity for you. Either way, take a look at how starting part-time can help you earn extra money each month. Okay, you as a district leader, part-time helping one family a week or 4 clients in a month. Okay, now you see there are, different products that we do. Not everybody gets everything, but on average, you see the 4 life sales, 2 IRA rollovers, 1 debt watchers, 1 auto and home, and 1 prepaid legal. Okay, either way, for helping just 4 families, 1 per week, all right, that would, you'd earn an additional $3,200, a little bit more than $3,200 a month part-time. Okay, do you think you can use an extra $3,200 a month? Okay, right? What would that do for your family? How would that change, your financial future? Okay, so now this is one way to do the business, just to go out and work and help families. But another way is building a team. Okay, now as you build your Primerica business, as you build a team, okay, you have the opportunity to earn overrides. Okay, now overrides offer the opportunity to earn additional income based on the business efforts of your team or your downlines. Okay. In other words, they work, you get paid. How you like that? Right? So let's look at it here. A regional leader, you're still helping your 4 clients a month, right? And off of what we call your own pen, that's $4,400 you're making. Now you have 2 district leaders, right? That's also going out to help families because they go out and work. You make an override of $1,600 from the work that they do. So now for the month, you've made over $6,000, and that's part-time. Okay, let's look at full-time. All right, I mean, how about 6,000 part-time? Right now, full-time here, transitioning to what we call a regional vice president. Pretty much all this is a continuation of building your team and expanding your business. Okay, at this point, you may decide to quit your job, okay, and become a full-time representative. Okay, advance to regional vice president. You'll have opportunities to earn bonuses. Okay, so again, as a full-time vice president, you personally helping 4 clients a month, you're making $6,800 off of your own pen. Okay, you have some teammates that you're overriding. Okay, they're helping families because they're out working, helping 10 families. You would override $5,700 would be your override, right? The company then pays you a bonus because you're training all these people, $1,200. Total monthly cash flow, $13,797 as a full-time regional vice president. Okay, isn't that awesome? Now check this out. It doesn't stop there. Okay, because once you're a vice president, you have the opportunity to build and develop other regional vice presidents. Okay, and when you've developed 3 regional vice presidents now, you're a senior vice president. Okay, you earn $6,800 again off of your own work, off of your 3 RVPs, and off of your team. That's overrides of $14,000. Okay, plus you still get that base shop bonus of $1,200, and then the RVP and SVP bonuses of $6,000. So now your total monthly cash flow is over $28,000. At this point, you're making what the average person makes a year. You're making it in 1 month. All right, how's that sound? Listen, let me ask you this: if you can earn an extra $20,000 to $40,000 a month part-time, would that interest you at all? Of course, of course. Now, let me just share a little bit more about the regional vice president position. We're almost done. We have no bosses, no quotas, no territory limits, no franchise fees. You actually have real business ownership. See, with a job, you can work a job, you can work for, the man all your life. You never own anything, okay? But here, the company gives you the opportunity to build it and own it, okay? We also have, as you see, jewelry, watches, we have rings. You have the opportunity to earn, in excess of 40 checks a month, okay? Either personal commissions or overrides, bonuses, passive income, trips. I mean, you name it, it's here. Also, let me just let you know exactly how to get involved. To start your business, okay, it's simply $99 and $25 a month for your online support. Okay, and what happens here is we pay, because you have to get licensed, we pay for your state life license, securities license, okay, fingerprints. Pretty much this is a value of approximately $900. And pretty much what you're getting is a proven business model. Okay, you can look and see all the benefits. Here we have a home office staff of 2,000 employees supporting your business. Primerica Online, state-of-the-art online resources. I'm not going to just go into all of it. Oh, you get a company stock. Okay, you earn company stock, about $15,000 in stock when you become a regional vice president. Plus, there's a training bonus of $300 that you can qualify for in your first 30 days. All right, isn't that awesome? All right, now here's the bottom line. Look, we have a place for everyone. All right. Some people want to get involved spare time, others part time. There's some folks that are looking for a second career or a bird dog position, which this is simply, you get licensed and then you refer. Okay. You have the opportunity to control your own investments and retirements with us. You can earn income based on your efforts only, or recruiting and building a team and earn overrides. RVP training program is here. The bottom line is we'll teach and show you how to start making between $200 and $500 per family, right, for each family that you help in the next few months, depending on your dedication. Now, let me ask you this, okay? In fact, before I would go there, what I've shown you who we are, what we do for families. I've shown you the business opportunity. Okay, which interests you the most, the products and services, the business opportunity, or both? Okay, great, both. Okay, let's talk about getting started. First of all, in order to get started, keys to success, submit your IBA, your independent business application with $99. Are you able to do that? Okay, great. Yeah, tonight. Yeah, great. All right, we'll get that taken care of. Now, if they say they don't have it, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Carter, well, when will you have your $99? Okay, this Friday? Okay, not a problem. We can still do it, date everything for Friday. Great. So after we do that, we're going to do all this tonight. We're then going to complete your financial needs analysis so that we can get your family's financial game plan started. Okay, and then we'll do what we call a getting started interview, and then start building your team right away. Okay, so with what I've just explained to you, let me ask you this. What's your greatest motivation to get started? Okay, just dialogue, immediately get the information out for the IBA. Then you will go into the financial needs analysis, which is the financial education survey, which we will not go over tonight. But I'm not sure if I put that on the website, but we will be doing some more role plays and helping you to become competent in all of these areas. But the whole thing is, as you see, we're focusing on the recruit, okay? We're focusing on the recruit, we're doing financial needs analysis, and we're getting into their market. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, your goal should be personally 3 recruits a month, 3 direct recruits a month, and then helping each of your 3 get 3. Okay, duplicating your team, duplicating yourself. Okay, teaching people how to make money, teaching people how to execute everything that we talked about. See, the bottom line is this. Even if you're not necessarily totally versed in all of the information in this presentation, if you sat down, you have to ask yourself, how many people are you sitting down with to go through this presentation? All right? If you sit down with enough people, it's impossible not to win. All right? The thing is, you have to sit down with enough people. Okay? We all know the numbers. We all know the expectations. We have to just execute. At this point, we have to execute. We have all the resources in place, and it's just a matter of executing, becoming confident, learning how to make money. Okay, we got to be making at least $1,000 to $1,500 a month, part-time, spare time, consistently, because you want to be able to teach others what you're doing, and eventually we're going to step that up to $5,000 to $10,000 a month are going to be our standards. Okay, but we're looking for a few good men and women, right, who are willing to step up their game, right, to have a higher expectation of standards, to become versed at how we're going to play this game so that we can model success and attract success to our team. Now, I'm going to pass it over really quick to Yvette. Now, the reason why I'm going to pass it to Yvette, I don't know exactly where she is right now in premium. She's near like 5,000 in premium. She has tons of appointments set up. She's really catching the vision, buying into the team mindset. It looks like she's going to be the first person to lead the way in stepping up her game and helping us to establish high standards for everyone involved. So I want you to hear from her, hear her mindset, hear what she got from Tanya Poe, and just let everybody know basically where you're going right now. And hopefully we can get some other folks to catch on. Yvette, it's on you.
Okay, good evening, Kingdom Crusaders. This is Yvette, your teammate, your playmate in the game, and I hope you all are willing to get in the game, because you cannot be of the game if you're not even in the game, okay? Let me just start off by telling you guys what I got out of the convention on this weekend with Tanya Poe. If you missed it, let me tell you, you don't want to miss another event. Never miss events, never miss meetings. You hear it all the time, and it's a reason for that, because you don't know what and who is going to say something that's going to turn on your light bulb. And this weekend, it did it for me, okay? We're talking about a woman who paid over $90,000. Get this, $90,000 for an education and to have a master's degree in education. And out of all that pain, out of all that education that she received, she don't even know the fundamentals of how money works. So that ought to tell you something. You don't need to go to school to be a millionaire. You just need to go to school and work, okay? Step up your game. Like I always say, you don't need a job. You just need to go to work, all right? She just told her story. It was very passionate to me, and I sat there the whole while, and I just said, you know what? If she can do it, there's nothing wrong with me doing it, okay? God has no respect for persons. You just got to be a winner in your mind and want to do it, okay? It just taught me that poor is a mindset, okay? And in all you Christians, and if you are a Christian on the phone, you know, I believe in every bit of the word from the front to the back, okay, from Genesis to Revelation. And there's nowhere in the Bible that says that you have to be poor. It just says the poor shall be among you always. So that lets you know poor is a mindset. Okay. Another thing that I got from Tanya Poe is that, you know, you got to be coachable. All right. And Tiffany is our coach. She's been in this game for a good while, so she knows all the do's and don'ts. We just need to follow her lead. Okay. Follow her lead. Get the information. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just go out and do it. So that's what being coachable is. You don't need to ask why, just ask how. Okay, don't ask why. Don't question everything. You don't know this business, so you're trying to learn it. You're trying to get to where she is, which is the ultimate contract of being an RVP. You just need to ask how, and then go and do it. Then she told us about being competent. This is what she's doing tonight. She's teaching us how to be competent in our game, okay? Knowing the products, knowing the presentation. You should be able to start a presentation. If someone cuts you off with a rebuttal, you need to be able to take that challenge, answer it, and move right back into the presentation, no matter where they stop you at. So you got to become competent in your game. And then you got to be competitive. You know, we got to be competitive. Your game up. You got to get on the leaders board. You need to begin to see who you can knock out of the game, not just in your city, not just in your hierarchy, but in the country. Because, see, my intentions now, she done raised an animal up in me. I needs to be number one in the country. If her team can be number one in the country, there's no reason why I can't be number one in the country. All right? Consistency. You got to be willing to do this thing consistently every day. Sleep, drink, eat. I mean, everything. It needs to be Primerica. It needs to be the products. It needs to be the process. It needs to be learning, overcoming objections, whatever it is. Let me tell you something. TV, radio, none of that is going to pay you. So if you busy watching the have and the have-nots and all this other stuff that's about to come on, they are not going to pay you. Those people are already on TV getting paid. You need to be worried about how you're going to learn how to close for that next appointment you're going to have. You're going to need to know, how you can convert somebody from a whole life policy to a term policy, giving them valuable information that's going to say, I don't think I have the right product. You got to become consistent at what you do at no cost, at all costs, no excuses. She told us about excuses. I mean, an average person would think, man, my child is at home sick. Is he dying? Okay, if you call yourself a Christian, you need to start praying. Release the word. You got a business to grow, because I guarantee your child will love you more when he's 15, 16. You can buy him a car before graduation, or you can pay for his college, or you can do whatever you need to do for that child without any problem. And he can say, man, my mom, my dad, they doing it. They doing it for me. And that's the mindset I have now. I have a family. I have a mission. I want to have a family with such, stability. I picture my picture in my home with my grandchildren when I'm probably dead and gone after 130 years of living, that they will be saying, that's my grandma. She made it happen for us. She made it happen for us. She went out there and she won at all costs. And that's how you need to be thinking. And that's what I learned from Tanya Poe in this weekend's event. I'm going to say this to you. I can meet you at the bank. I can meet you at the beach, but I would rather meet you at the top, where it's financial freedom, spiritually, mentally, financially, and emotionally. Go make it happen for you and your family.
Awesome. Hey, Yvette, now I want you to share with them your mindset on your activity, what you've actually done as far as the sales you've closed, the appointments you set out. What is your mindset as far as activity and accountability?
Okay, my mindset for activity and accountability is the numbers, okay? The numbers. You need to be setting up 16 appointments or more, okay, if you're part-time. Every week, consistently, because the numbers don't lie. It just depends where you want to be on that leaders board. Where do you want to be on that leaders board? So if you intend to make some noise, you need to be setting appointments. And you need to be locking those appointments in. Okay? Immediately after I got that, after the the event was over, I went home, and guess what? I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 appointments. I still have some more to go because I have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday still not completely full. So my mindset is to close 8 sales a week, 5 recruits a month. You need to be training 5 to 10 people every week. I don't know how fast you want to get to where you're going, but I need to be Senior Sales National Director, okay? My goal is 55. I'm not telling you what my age is, but my goal is at 55, I shall be a Senior National Sales Director doing 200 by 200 in my base shop, minimally.
Awesome. Talk about stepping up your game. Talk about high standards, speaking it into being, but also, most importantly, fighting and executing for it. That's huge. Yvette, how much do you know exactly how much you have in premium so far this month?
Right now, well over 2,000. I have 1 recruit so far, and I have appointments to put life sales in tomorrow.
All right, it's already the 14th of the month, and Yvette is coming out the gate really strong. So I know everybody, we have to play catch up, all right, and put some numbers up on the board. So that we can, every month, again, this is a 30-day business, but we want to make sure that we have a 7-day mentality. And again, it's going to work for you if you simply just put the appointments on the books. Put the appointments on the books, 16 a week. I dare you. Now, unfortunately, most people won't do this. All right. But try that for 90 days and watch your life change dramatically. All right. Before we close out, Annette, Paul, we got any announcements? Annette, can you unmute? Any announcements? Okay, I see her here, but okay, Annette, going once, going twice. All right. So anyway, I think we got the word tonight. We want to make sure that we're using our accountability trackers. Okay, you're going to be hearing from me on tomorrow as far as some additional things that we're going to be doing to help support you all who are serious in, you know, getting the right activity. All right, but either way, it's going to be very important that you're using the accountability tracker. All right. In fact, your monthly focus and your KTA tracker again. All right. Your monthly focus, you should have a minimum of 30 people on that monthly focus. All right. With your KTA tracker, by the end of the month, if you're setting, you know, your appointments, you should have that thing filled. All right. 30, 35 KTs on a monthly basis. All right. If you did that, you're making well over the minimum $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Okay. Again, it's all about setting appointments, and your question to yourself is, how many appointments do I have on the books? And what we're going to start doing, we're going to start tracking as a team the number of appointments that we have, because that is the only way that we're going to win. That's the only way that we're going to be able to build. That's the only way that we're going to be able to expand and eventually promote out regional vice presidents, a business of activity. Now, again, the presentation's here. All right, it's on the website. You should have it. All right, this is nothing new. All right, you should have it. Rehearse it, practice it every day. All right, set appointments so you can go out there. Just start doing appointments everywhere. All right, you got your lunch break. If you're at work, do a presentation for somebody at work. All right, your family members, you know, just go over and do a presentation. You never know. Okay, get experience. Okay, overcoming objections. We put some new audios on our website. Okay, so that you can learn how to deal with the no's. Okay, so with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and end here. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to text me. But I'm looking for us to totally explode. I'm looking for us to totally explode the end of this month. We have to turn this thing around. We have to set high standards. We have to step up our game. We have to grow our team, grow our business. I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you, especially if you're serious about taking your business to the next level. Okay, this Saturday we will be in training. I'm not sure if it's going to be Miami Lakes or the exact location, but just look out for a text from me, and I'll look forward to seeing you all Saturday, okay? So with all that said, we'll bid everyone good night, and remember, if it's going to be, it's up to you. You're going to have to do it. Nobody else can do it for you. You can do it. You can make this thing happen. You can turn it around. If you want it bad enough, all right, figure out your why. All right, you already know what to do. Let's just get out there and execute. All right, everybody have a great night. I will direct you right now to our website. Go ahead and log in. Let me know the things that you learned in training today. Also browse around and see some of the new things that we have up. All right, everybody have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. God bless you all.
Good night.